Cheryle is she's a platinum executive with ASEA, together with her husband, David, and she is going to share about spa parties, which is fun. So she has found these a fun way to introduce ASEA and make it, you know, maybe a little bit more lighthearted and something people can get together, I guess particularly women with their girlfriends, and have a spa party and learn about ASEA and something that can transform your health, but also have a bit of fun as well. So over to you, Cheryle. If I can, you'll have to unmute yourself. I can't see everyone on this thing.
Thanks, Nicole. Everybody can hear me. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody, it's good to see you. Gee, Patty, that was amazing. Thank you for that testimonial. Now, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the logistics part of having a little mini spa party at home or for somebody else in your team. I've put together a checklist and a little bit of a running sheet, which I'll give to Nicole and she can put into Jeannie Go if she needs to, or we can put it into the Shine Bright team. So I'm just going to talk from it. I'm not going to put it up front straight away. Okay, so first thing is invitation. That sort of seems self-explanatory, but we've found that anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks booking the party ahead is a great time to do it. Also, another thing that we found is you're better to invite voice or in person and then follow up with the flyer. So that just seems to work better than using a flyer by itself if you're actually talking. And usually these little spa parties are with your friends. It's a lovely soft approach to introduce product to your girlfriends and their husbands, rather than have them to a formal evening where they're being told all about the miraculous molecules. So from the invitation, the RSV follow-up, you have to check in about 4 days before, make sure that all the numbers are in, and also I recommend a night before reminder text saying, I'm really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. So that's sort of invitation, a midway follow-up and a night before follow-up as well, which seems like a lot, but it works best that way. We used to do these every week. Of course, it hasn't been so much with COVID, but I'm sure we'll all get back to it. And we've started doing these again too in Queensland. So from there, we go to Hostess and Set Up. Now, you may be doing this for yourself, so you'd still go through the same procedure, or you may be doing it for somebody in your team, or just somebody who wants to know about the skincare. So if you're doing it with a hostess, you just go through with them what's expected, how to invite people, discussing food and drink, along with how to set up the room. I know these seem like they're fairly simple things, but I've been to them where you can't get around the table. So you can't actually get to individual people because you don't actually want everybody touching the product. You go around and give it to people. So you need to be able to flow freely and all that sort of thing. You don't want the food to be absolutely astounding because it makes it more difficult then to book a party from a party, because if it looks like it was just outrageously expensive and beautifully done, it's going to be hard to ask somebody else to do the same thing because they're going to be following. So just, you know, just nice nibbles and drinks. 6 to 8 people seems to work the best. 6 is a great number. I've done them for 16 and there's just too much chatter. So 6 to 8 is a great number. You need to arrive early as well, like 30 minutes early, not 10 minutes early, because by the time you've chatted with the hostess and put out a place for everybody, it sort of gets away from you. So you need to set all the table and that too. The hostess won't do that. You'll do that. You'll set up the place setting for each person who's having the little spa, the mini spa. So we've got that all organized. So the next thing we want to do is make sure we've got a kit ready. Now, I keep one ready all the time. I know it's already packed. Everything's in it ready to go. I just have to pick it up and go out the door. And if you're going to be doing a few of these because it works well for you, then you want to do that. If you're just doing one occasionally, maybe it's not going to make much sense. But I've got a little checklist and I tick off that I've got all of these things done. So make sure in your kit you've got a skincare kit to work with. I use bowls, so you could just use a disposable one or not, because that warm water goes in those. It saves the hostess doing all this sort of stuff. You take the little cotton pads with you. You take everything that's needed. And I also do a little placemat. It's just a piece of paper that's laminated because I don't want to put anything all over the hostess's table. And generally a tablecloth doesn't do a great job of that. It needs to be waterproof because water does get around a bit. Now I do quite a few of these, so I actually do have, on top of that, I have washers as well, which I find really useful because it's, you know, you get quite a bit of moisture around. It's really good to have something to dry it up with. I don't use tissues because tissues tear the skin. So tissues can of course be used to clean up. I also use a bin on the table, which is just a plastic cup, so everybody can put their rubbish in it. These are just really silly little things, but they actually make your life so much easier when you do these things. Now you want to also, have in your kit some cards for the people to fill out to go in the lucky draw. And these cards, their template is in Genie Go. I'm pretty sure Nicole will have already done that.
I haven't actually yet because I didn't get home from school too late, but I will do it, yeah.
Yeah, no. Now, these little brochures, they are old, as in they've got pictures of the product before repackaging. Nicole still has some of these, but you'll have to pick them up. She's not in the business of posting these to you. But if you can grab some of these, you can actually work from it. So you can work from this little brochure and just do your whole presentation from it. Remember, it's not a huge big presentation. It's just a taster. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. So also make sure you've got enrollment forms. Even though we mostly put things online now, enrollment forms are a really good thing to have. I like to have a bottle of Acia plus the supplements on display because I also like to introduce those at points throughout, you know, talking about how to get your best skin, you really do need good nutrition. So all those things sort of come into play. You need a small gift for your lucky door prize, which could just be a couple of tubes of your samples. It's up to you. It's better to use only a small amount of product, not a great big amount.
Spray bottles are really good too.
Yeah. So I also like to have a little spray bottle of Acia. It's not necessarily, but I like to spray it on people just so that I get a bit of Acia in there as well. So I'm introducing all the different products because even though it's about your skin, I want to show that you can use it in lots of different ways. There's a Renew Advanced Usage video in your library on how the products work. So if you've never had a skincare kit, you can watch how to use it. Okay. Also, there's an ingredients list in your library as well. And it's a really good thing to have a read of that because it's got lots of fabulous information, because if somebody asks you what's in it and you haven't got a clue, it doesn't look so great. Now, I'm going through this fairly quickly. So we've done the skincare, we've done a chat. That all takes surprisingly half an hour, I guess, by the time everybody's sampled it and talked, and I get them to look at each other. I don't have mirrors on the table. I want them to look at each other so that they are aware of how their skin is looking refreshed, and it always does, which and everybody's sort of sparkling. So there's lots of giggles going on because this is supposed to be a lot of fun as well. It's not serious. So when we've done that and we're finished is when we draw the prize. So somebody gets a little gift and you have everybody's details by then, because on this great little card, it gives you, they give you their name and their phone number, and that goes in for the draw, and you pull one out and they get it. But on the back, it also, it asks a whole heap of little questions about prevention. What are you interested in? So that's very handy to have too. So you draw your prize, then the food and drink starts. Please don't start hot drinks or alcohol before you do your face, because what we're going to do is get a fair bit of flushing quite often, and that's not what we want before we start. So as the food and drinks are going on, I've discovered the best place then is to walk around and talk to everybody. That seems to work best, rather than having them stuck at the table with the dirty stuff in front of them. It's when they're getting up and they're walking around, and you just pop in and just sort of casually talk to everybody, and you can get a great idea of what they're interested in. Now, another thing that I have discovered is at these little mini spas, I don't sell a lot of the skincare products. People are much more interested in the Renew, the supplements, and the ASEA interest. That's just, yeah, so that's what happens. So even though it's a skincare, everybody is interested in the other products. So it works beautifully because it's non-threatening as well. So what I've done is this little sheet, and it's got all of that information that we've just gone through very quickly, and it's also got a checklist on this side, and you just have to follow through with that. When you're doing a flyer, Canva's a great place to do that. And of course you can have dry parties and wet parties. So a dry party, you might call it Ladies Laughter, Lines and Life, or something like that. If it's a wet party, it could be Women, Wine and Wrinkles. So if you need any ideas on that, just reach out to me and I'm happy to give you some info of what I've used. But Canva's a great place to make up your own little flyers as well. And that's pretty much it. Right on time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cheryle.